So interesting coming. So
Go Scarlet.
Jump to the DC side since we're on the women topic.
yes,
There we go.
It's Wonder Woman.
Was fantastic.
Jeff does not agree.
And I have not seen Wonder Woman. I heard very good things.
Oh.
I have a problem with the DC universe in general. The movies are incredibly lackluster to me. Incredibly lackluster. They don't come off well on screen for me. That's not me being biased. There's a number of DC characters I love and adore. I'm a large Batman fan. I've read him for years. My DC list of characters go
Spectre.
Batman, Ragman, Spectre. I love a lot of them, and they just fail to deliver for me on the screen every single time.
I'm on board with you in that aspect because I wasn't a big fan of Man of Steel. I was
Man of
not a
Steel
fan
was-
of Batman versus Superman.
If I'm doing 90% of my film looking at a watch or a clock, trying to anticipate how much longer I have to sit through it, it's not good for me.
And I think, like we're talking about Thor's too much comedy, I think Zack Snyder, I just don't think he's a good choice for these characters. Because Superman is a beacon of light, he's a beacon of hope. And man, I know you enjoyed Man of Steel, I believe.
I
We talked
hate
about
it.
it.
That was
Yeah.
there was a lot of hate.
Oh, they
to
worked
me.
on it.
Yeah.
Bias.
But
Bias.
I
Wayne
have-
worked on, he's our digital guy. He worked on Man of Steel, but I don't. Snyder uses the same filter in every film. Everything's got that haze to it, and to me it's almost distracting. It takes away from some of the characters because you got that.
That's something that's incredibly misplaced in Superman film.
Yes, he needs to be
Because-
bright. He needs to
Yeah.
be shiny,
It
and that's
needs
what was
things need to be
great.
sharp, clear, concise. Here's a character who stands, and granted, through the years, Superman has gone through a number of different character changes. This is a character who, in the last, say, 20, 25 years, has stood for morality and good, and they call him the Boy Scout.
And that's what was great about Wonder Woman is it didn't follow any of that. It was bright. It was fun.
Right.
It was serious. It had its comedic tones, but it was overall so well put together.
That's at least one I
Yes.
do want to
And
see.
they,
You should.
I mean,
Put it on the list.
they put her on a
Yeah.
It's the
pedestal,
best one.
and this should be the bar for all DC films going
Yes.
forward.
Wonder Woman should have been the start of the DC universe.
Yes.
And I said that, and
Like,
I'm gonna go with with the whole darkness thing, and I'll tell you who I blame a lot of it on, and it's certainly not his fault, but I'll say it's Chris Nolan's fault.
Yeah.
Because
It was the fans'
if they,
fault.
what happened was DC, DC just thought that they could take Batman and Superman, throw them in any movie, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do, but it's going to sell. Chris Nolan comes along and says, "I'm going to ground it. I'm going to put it in reality. This is not a superhero world. It's more of a crime drama. It's more of that kind of movie. I'm going to do that." When he did that, DC raked in tons and tons of cash from those films. So then following that, they said to Chris Nolan, "Hey, you know what? We want to ground Man of Steel now.
can't ground
So
Superman."
we're going to have you produce Man of Steel,
Especially not
and we're gonna kind of keep it in that same dark mode that the Batman.
doesn't
Those
work.
Batman films should have just stopped. They were done. They were finished. They should have just stopped there and just started all over. And Wonder Woman should have been the first one. They should have brought her in as the first one and then just went from there. Batman and Superman could have sat. You could have left them
They
sit
should
for
have sat.
yeah, right. You could have let them sit for a while. They could have been on a back burner. Bring them in when you want to start bringing in your Justice League characters or in that direction. But that's my opinion on it. But Wonder Woman, I loved. Wonder Woman. I came out with a video blog shortly after I saw that because I think it's a big movie for female superheroes and having two daughters that went to see that. It moved me because I got to see them watch a female on screen in a male-dominated genre that you didn't see before, and to me, that was important.
Yeah.
And I think going forward now you have Marvel saying, "Hey, we're going to do a Black Widow movie," and maybe before Wonder Woman, you would not have seen that. Maybe they would have been like, "Yeah, I don't know, a cool character, but I don't know if she can hold her own in a film." Well, now obviously,
They can.
and you're seeing a lot more. You saw it in Force Awakens with the heroine instead of being is
Rogue
female
One.
instead of male. You saw in Rogue One. So yes, to me, I think it was an important film, and I loved it. I thought Patty Jenkins did a fantastic. You know what? Give Patty Jenkins the
DC
universe.
universe.
Give
I'd be
Patty
fine with
Jenkins
that.
the DC universe. I'm perfectly good with that.
Well, that was, I think, I know that you said to shelve and make Wonder Woman the first of it, but without the right timing, Patty Jenkins would have never done Wonder Woman.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
she got-
I'm in talking in
Right.
perfect time.
Right, it's
yeah,
all in the perfect time,
yeah.
but I think it actually worked out for the benefit because how Wonder Woman now curved the change without Wonder Woman, I don't think they would have changed much of
They would have kept doing the
Snyder's.
same thing over and over.
I think
Yeah,
they would have
probably.
kept Snyder's the Justice League movie more toned towards that. I think that got incredibly light when they brought in Joss Whedon.
Whedon. Yeah.
So I think after the whole, influence of Dark Knight being like, oh my God, look at the biggest box office movie of this year, and they scrap that really cruddy Superman movie. Don't forget the Nick Cage version.
Superman.
That got
Superman
so-
Returns.
Superman lives. Superman lives.
Superman lives.
That
Yeah.
whole movie
If
was
you get to see the chance to see the documentary,
Watch that documentary.
That
because,
documentary
yeah.
is worth
it is like
So
watching a
Yeah.
ship sink, and it's
It's-
so
it's so
engrossing.
Don't forget,
Yes, it is.
Superman was being developed after that point, and they just said nope. They canceled the whole thing. They then said, "Hey, let me get that Dark Knight movie because it's just like the Guardians of the Galaxy influence." What is bringing it in? Suits spoke up. We got that whole mess. Wonder Woman comes out, saves the day.
Yeah.
So
Like she's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. And like just for me being a woman, no, there's been. I'm just gonna put that out there.
There's a girl.
I'm a woman. Oh my god.
Sorry, we didn't take away.
No. Oh no. I feel like I should say that, but no.
I'm petting the cord.
No.
The cord got upset.
Oh my god, it's okay, Corey. It's all right. We're good. But no, I mean it was wonderful. I mean, like I just said, I love comic book movies. There's been attempts at female comic book movies that didn't go very well. There was Elektra, which I did see in the theater.
Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I haven't even seen Halle Berry's Catwoman.
I
but
feel
it
like
did
I
look
just got
good.
shot twice in the chest.
Yeah.
Now Catwoman's coming.
Yeah, and then there's just something to be said about timing. I mean, I have issues with Man of Steel. Like the whole destruction in it has always bothered me. I think I'm one of the few people who really does like Batman v Superman. I do like the darkness in it. There's just operatic quality. I like the characters' dueling ideologies, but it was a dark movie. We all know that. Then you have Wonder Woman who comes in and she brings the light. And looking at the type of climate that our country is in right now, Wonder Woman's full of hope. She's full of optimism. It's, you walk out of that movie feeling joyous about what you just saw.
Which is really funny. Everybody says it's such a colorful movie. The odd setting is that it's done during World War I trench movie.
Yes.
And it's such a bleak,
Yeah.
dismal
It
era
is.
in time that you don't even notice it. Like
Yeah.
that's
You
how
know,
right
yeah.
she goes right through
It is
the
just
movie.
done well.
Yeah, it's such a good blockbuster. It acknowledges, like you said, the suffering of war. Honestly, set during World War One. Just for me, the No Man Land scene. It's to see her rise out, see her rise up and become Wonder Woman and walk across that field.
Yeah.
I'm starting to do it now, but I actually teared up, and I wasn't the only woman in my theater who was tearing
My
up. It was
wife
amazing to see that on screen.
She never really knew much about Wonder Woman, but that same thing. She got all emotional the whole through the film. Like, all right, she never knew much about Wonder Woman, all other than just seeing some stuff here and there. But that hit her, and that was great.
Mhm.
In the years, Wonder Woman has kind of fallen away from the limelight, in my opinion. Like, I'm sure I'm not taking anything away from anybody who loves and adores and reads the character. By all means, do not
She
think
was-
that I'm
she
trashing
was
her
super-
in any way, shape, or form.
She was
But-
super popular in the 60s and 70s.
But
and
they've
with the
gotten
women's
away
movement
from
and everything.
telling
Yeah.
stories about
And
it.
Yeah.
now they're just kind of back
And,
up.
Yeah.
well, and that's largely due to the fact that we've seen the effect that movies can have on the comics.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you had Ultimates, which very much took like actors and penciled them in those parts, and then those actors.
We got,
Almost-
and that's what we got. Sam Jackson, Nick
Right,
Fury.
and that's where we got
That's
Sam
exactly
Jackson.
where it came from.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Which is why anybody who was a fan of the comics has such an easy time adapting to that.
to the Black
That
persona,
persona, right.
yeah.
Because in the past we've had a lot of people comment about the racial issues in changing certain people's races
When they cast roles,
in
yeah.
cast roles.
Yeah.
Like when I remember having a number of discussions with people over the Daredevil film with Ben
Kingpin.
Affleck, where they made Kingpin black, and they were upset about that. And to me, it didn't even faze me. I was like, it actually kind of made more sense. I liked it more.
Yeah. When after Wonder Woman, which led us to Justice League.
Yes, and we kind of already touched on Justice League a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's go right into Justice League because
I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I don't want to say that was the whole. I don't want to get into Joss Whedon versus Zack Snyder because I don't think that had anything to do with it.
you can tell when you watch that film what Whedon did and
Yeah.
what Snyder did.
It
You
just-
can tell. Whedon, Russian family being saved.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't need to spend 15 minutes on a Russian family being saved, I don't
Yeah.
think. But you could see what was Whedon and what wasn't.
It just at that point they wanted to have have the heroes actually saving someone.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Marvel has such a deep part of that,
Right,
and I think that's one of the things that DC films have missed.
right.
They're just showing them the battles, but they're not showing them being heroes, so to speak.
Especially in Man of Steel with that destruction.
And that, yeah, it was a good way for
Which
them
is
to
my
go.
major problem with that entire film.
Yeah,
Me
but they
too.
showed
The
that.
fact that he just let
There's-
everybody die.
There's no
Lois
way.
Lane's,
There's
like, I
no
think, the only
universe
person
I
you
can
say.
think
Right.
of.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
universe I can think of where Superman allows that battle to take place in Metropolis.
Yeah.
He takes it
He
out. of
takes it. He finds a way to goat them elsewhere.
Yeah.
Where, you know, the destruction might be at the
Yeah.
same levels, but it doesn't have the same human casualty tag marker that goes with it. That's what Superman essentially is.
I think Justice League hit a little bit of a Marvel thing where Steppenwolf wasn't a really solid villain.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if you're not a comic reader, you have no idea who the hell Steppenwolf
Yeah.
is. You know,
Even most comic book nerds don't know.
Yeah, even in Darkseid's little group, he's one of
Yeah.
the
He's one of the
the fallen ones. He's not
Yeah.
really there much. So I applaud him for taking a bold step with a less known character. The Parademons were fantastic. I really enjoyed the Parademons. I like Affleck. I mean, he's doing good with the role, and now we just read he might be done already.
He's his last appearance as Batman will be Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And now we're getting Jake Gyllenhaal. Who,
Jake Gyllenhaal more than
And
likely as Batman.
Squad 2.
Yeah, they are actually doing a Suicide Squad 2.
But that hasn't been
I-
the casting change hasn't been confirmed yet, right? I mean, it's out
it's
there.
out
It's been
there.
out there, but I
It's-
don't know.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with it because I had this issue since we started the Justice League thing. Having an old aged Batman doesn't bode well for a new franchise. So if they're gonna recast him, fine. Just don't talk about it. Just
Yeah.
put Jake Gyllenhaal in
Just do
there.
it.
Just do it.
Well, here's the cool thing with DC movies moving forward now is that you have, and I quick wrote down the DC slate that's coming up because this was in the thing. Obviously, you have Aquaman this year. You've got Shazam, which I actually love the cast that they've got for Shazam so far. You've got Wonder Woman 2, you've got Suicide Squad 2, Flashpoint, and the Batman. They can change anything they want to in Flashpoint.
Yeah, and which is probably what they're gonna do.
They can.
Do a soft reboot. It
Yep.
makes sense. Get things back on track. I don't think when they do these, I know Marvel has a tight grip, and I don't want to start an argument with Marvel DC. I love both, and we need to shut up. We need to get rid of that whole
Jeff,
first this is that.
take care of
Yeah,
him.
now you can hit him. I'm just using an example. Marvel keeps a pretty. We've read about it, tight rein on some of the directors. This needs to be in the film because this is happening. If you want a film universe, you need to have that some type of cohesion to do this.
I think you and I were talking on in the group about who they're getting, and this I didn't really know the person that Warner is bringing in, but he was the one who's in charge of some of the horror series. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you-
the Conjuring universe is
Right.
actually it's a universe now. The Conjuring
Yep.
universe, yeah.
yeah.
Everything's a universe now.
So they're bringing in different people to oversee it, which is good. I mean, with these movies, I think a lot of it was just upper management, and I think a lot of it was Warner. You'll never see that, and no one will ever read that until someday one of these, directors or whoever comes out and says, what, these guys suck, and they just, they didn't let me do anything, and but I think that's where a lot of it stems from. I think a lot of it comes top down, and they just didn't know. Like I said, their cash cows were Superman and Batman for
Yeah.
all these years.
They wouldn't take a chance with him.
They didn't have to worry about Marvel because
Well,
at that when they were
Superman.
doing Superman, when they had the Chris Reeve Superman stuff coming out, and then they had the Michael Keaton Batman, you didn't really have to worry about Marvel.
No.
Then
No.
Marvel started coming on, so now but I think I think you can change a lot of the stuff going forward, and I think they probably will. It seems like they're hopefully going in a different direction, hopefully going in a better direction moving forward. But I didn't mind Justice League either. I liked the film for what it was. Am I going to sit here and say
happy.
it was Avengers?
expect it to be.
No way. I mean, it's not close to the original Avengers if that's what they were going for.
Do you think maybe Snyder's trying to do too much epic stuff in every one of those?
Snyder's trying to make every movie like Watchmen. And
Or 300.
and you can't.
You just punch Jeff in the side.
It is very similar to a punch in the gut, yes. have waited me.
he's trying to make. I'm. You know what? I feel bad for Zack Snyder because of the
His
whole thing
family
with his
tragedy.
family and his daughter passing and committing suicide and all that stuff. And that it's horrible to live through. But I kind of think you get to a point where maybe that's enough.
Yeah.
He tried it. It didn't work out
They're
the
gonna
way
change
he
it.
thought, and maybe it's just time to move on.
That's fine.
And whether or not, I don't think Whedon's going to do it. He's going to be involved with Batgirl now, so I don't think he's going to do it. But, maybe you need somebody different to just oversee this stuff. Just bring somebody else in and just let somebody. Like I said, I'm perfectly fine if you want to let Patty Jenkins have a crack at the universe.
I think that there's for me a legitimate fear that was brought up in the conversation with an upcoming film, this Flashpoint where they can literally redo the universe as DC has done so many
Oh,
times
yeah. It's
in the comics.
It'll be their crisis.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a problem for me.
Well, right now
That's a real big
their
problem,
universe is a
because-
problem.
That's one of my problems
Well,
with the
we-
DC universe.
But we're gonna get to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman.
Okay.
Oh,
We
yeah.
think-
I like Jeffrey D. Morgan as much as the next guy. I mean,
But then you're gonna introduce us to all these characters and then mix it up completely
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
That's
We've
very
crushed
confusing.
Spider-Man 3 times, like
Right.
3 different actors,
Yeah.
3 different series.
We'll get
in-
by it.
in
I
15
think
years,
in the
so-
long run it'll be an improvement for the series. They need it. They need to be revitalized. I'm hoping they'll get it under wraps and it'll be great.
well, if you want to keep telling the stories, you have to be able to adapt, and
Yeah.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
We fans have to adapt as well.
Yes, but I mean, how much more do we need, like, emulating art here?
Yeah. True.
Yeah, and for all the issues that obviously people have with the DCU, I really like Justice League. I thought it improved on some of the past issues. Again, I do love Batman v Superman, but this did a much better job of streamlining the plot. I thought that the action sequences were memorable. When Superman returns and he's fighting all the other members of the Justice League, that's a great scene.
There's a
I really
complete
like that
geek
scene.
out moment in that where when Flash is running and then he notices that Superman looks over, can see him.
Yeah.
That's a really geek out moment
Yeah.
I
in
love
that
that
part.
moment. That's great.
There were some. I mean, the Amazonian fight scene was amazing.
That was
fantastic.
great.
That was amazing. That was almost like something out of Lord of the Rings. Like that
Yeah.
fight scene, and then when you see the Green Lantern, and
Yeah.
you see him with the ring, and then all of a sudden the Green Lantern's killed, and his
That
ring
was
takes
cool.
off.
Mhm.
You're like, where's the ring going? Is the ring going to find Hal Jordan now? Is it going to find
And
So
the fun
there.
play at the end with the race. Batman
That
or
was
Superman and the Flash in the race.
Well, that was
That's
which,
great.
that was right to the book. That was
Yeah.
right to the greatest race on earth with
Yeah.
Superman
Yeah.
and Flash.
That was a really good character moment, and that's something this film did really well. You had your character moments.
They got better with it, yes.
Yeah, we were introduced to the Flash, Cyborg for the first time, and I really liked those characters. I do want to see their movies.
I
I'm so used to Grant Gustin as Flash.
He's so much better.
The
suit
I'm not
is so
gonna
much
say
better, too.
I disliked the actor because the actor was fine.
Ezra Miller.
I didn't like his suit. The
No.
suit was horrible, and I did not. Yeah.
In Justice
and,
League, yeah,
and,
it was
and
terrible.
I-
I like
why
it. I was
would you
fine with
give
them.
Flash armor?
Until they get the right
didn't-
strings.
Yeah, and I didn't like that, and I did not like the graphics that they used. To me, the Flash on TV looks better than the Flash in the movies when he's running through the city, and that shouldn't be. If you have got a big, huge budget to do film, and you can do super speed, and it looks better in the TV show than it does in a movie, that's a problem.
That's just director's choice.
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a
Yeah.
problem. I mean, you had so much slow mo, and I think maybe they thought, yeah, we're gonna do the Quicksilver thing here, where he's gonna go or he's gonna go so much faster than everybody else, but we're gonna see him slow. Yeah, I get it, but they could have done that a little bit better for my taste.
I guess it shows you what they have to deal with, because you have DC trying not to be Marvel, and then DC
Yeah.
trying not to be their TV shows, and
Yeah.
it's just so much to have to try to
Yeah.
manage all at once.
Yeah.